Welcome back. If you're new here and you don't know me, I'm Delano J. Woodbine. I'm the current Canadian 120 kg national champion. I share my training daily on how do I get so strong at the three disciplines in powerlifting. Today we got bench and squat for today. Don't remember what day it is, to be honest, but what I do remember last week when I did this bench day, I had some issues expressing top end strength, right? So today I'm hoping we can correct that and be able to push. I think the goal was 225 last week is what I said I wanted this week. Last week we ended up only at 210, and that's the most that I could have pushed on that day out of 8. Hopefully today we can hit 225 out of 8 RPE. And then for my back downs, I did 420, I believe 190. Hopefully I can at least hit that or more. I might keep the same weight and just be more stricter on the pauses. I think my pauses were good, but I feel like I can get more if I pause a bit longer. So I don't know, maybe I keep it the same and go up weight and then switch things around next block, being that this is how I was doing it throughout the whole block. Who knows? For squats though, I am gonna go a little bit lower than I did last week because the week prior, I said I was at like 12-inch away from the floor in the squat rack. And then last week I went up to 13. I think I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go a little bit lower than 12 and actually go to 11.5 in that black rack for squats because depth is still in a questionable spot right now. When I look back at the videos, even though I have that tactile cue, it's like right there. So I'm gonna start training at 11.5 moving forward. That's the lowest I can put it in the rack there without the band moving down every time I touch it because I use the pins. So we're gonna start training at 11.5 with those. And I think overall, the big issue is that I'm very big right now. So my legs are really big, my midsection's really big, and I don't compete at this. I'm not planning to compete at the 120 kg weight class moving forward. I'm going back down to 105, so I don't need to be this big. I am like I've never competed as a full 120, but the closer and closer I get to it, it seems like the leverages, especially on squat, it doesn't help that much. So I'm gonna cut back down here. I'm pretty sure next week is when I'm gonna quote unquote start, but I'm gonna start tracking my calories this week for that. So we're about, I think after next week or so, after the deload, after 2 weeks of like tracking, we're gonna be at least approximately 6 months out from my second national championships, which I'm planning on collecting a second title, but just in the 105 class. So I plan to put a lot on the total as well because I need to be so much higher in order to compete on the international stage. So yeah, today we got squats and bench. What we got on squat, as I said, a single at 8. For that, we did 280. I'm probably gonna stick with 280 and hope that it moves better. Being that I'm going lower, I don't wanna put myself in a compromising position anymore with squats. Every time I go lower, I start feeling lower back pain, and deadlift has been moving very well, and tomorrow is when I have deadlift, so I'm going lower, so I'm gonna keep the weight. So it's either gonna be 275 or 280. I might err on 275 if I'm gonna be honest, and then push those back down works because it's really like the heavier I get with the load in that position is the higher the chances are for my back to be bad versus if I do a bunch of lighter rep work. So the rep work might say in a one arm sense that I did more load, I took on more fatigue because I don't go down that much. Let's say I don't go down, let's say I go from 275 for a single to, what do I have, triples? sets of triples after to 255. So only 20 keys and I'm doing 3 reps with it. So in terms of intensity, I'm pretty sure that would be harder than doing 1 rep with 275 at an 8. Even though I'm doing that, or even 260, even if I do like that, it doesn't hurt me as much as me doing 275 for 1 rep on my lower back. So I'm gonna keep my top end conservative. Hopefully I smoke it, right? I might ear on 275 to be honest, because 280 was only 1 week. So if I'm just like plateaued throughout the block on squat in terms of like absolute load, it's fine. Everything else is moving, bench is moving, deadlift is moving, it's fine. I really think it's a leverage thing. So yeah, that might be the plan, but for today on bench, I want 495 to move at an 8, so 225. So the goal is 225. Really don't want to be stuck at 210 like last week, but who knows? This week I had a migraine, so I was supposed to be in the gym yesterday and I wasn't able to come in because like I had a crazy migraine throughout Sunday. So on Monday I was still feeling like shit. Not the migraine was gone because I took like 4 Tylenol and it was gone. I was able to get some sleep. I had to literally sleep in my next bedroom that I have because I have 2 bedrooms in my condo. I literally went and sleep on the next bed. For some reason it helped. I don't know if it was the AC in my room or whatever that was causing the migraine, but I slept in the next bedroom and I was able to get some sleep. So yeah, the migraine went away, but my stomach was still feeling pretty bad and I was a bit dehydrated and stuff. I drank a lot of coconut water. So where we'll be on bench today, I'm not sure. To be completely honest, I'm not sure. I didn't have cheese. I had a good night's rest last night, which were 2 things that I said I would make sure I do coming into this week. And I had 3 days off from the gym. So we're in a good spot in terms of me checking my variables. The migraine just came. I just woke up and I had it. And there's nothing I could do about it, to be honest. So yeah, we're in a good spot in terms of what we needed to accomplish. So yeah, I'm gonna warm up. I'm gonna take the same junk as I did last week and stop at 210. So, and hopefully we end up to our desired goal of 225 because that's what I care the most about right now, is getting that 225 to move at an 8 today, and then yeah, moving to bench. So I got chalk on my back, I got the bench mat. I'm gonna lock in so I can actually accomplish this. I'm not gonna talk too much to the camera, I'll talk afterwards, but I just want to give myself the best opportunity of actually like hitting this weight. And I think last week I was a little bit out of focus because a few times after the sets I would start talking and reflecting. So I'm not gonna do none of that today. So I'm just gonna listen to my music and show the warm-up sets. I'm probably gonna show at 3 plates because I think that's where I started at last week. But yeah, I'm gonna record for myself 1 to 2 plates just to see. But yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, I know I said I wasn't gonna talk in between this, but fuck it. The jump from 170 to 190 instead of like last week when I did 170 and 185 and then 195, I believe. Just went straight to 190, doing 20 kilo jumps. I think I'm gonna mimic that again and do a next 20 kilo jump to 210, and then maybe a next 20 kilo jump to either 225 or 230. 225 would be 15 kilo. That's a normal jump that I'd normally do. And 230 would be like a new ballpark kind of thing. The reason being is today, pressing is moving way faster. I did cramp in my lats warming up, which is interesting. but I've been working on my bracing, breathing, drinking water, and just trying to get rid of that. But overall, pressing power is like where it needs to be. It's really strong compared to last week. The only thing that's interesting, last week, the descent on these were a lot faster. So that means I couldn't get that tight in my chest. Then now it's way slower. I'm more controlling the weight. Even though I'm not trying to control it, I'm controlling a bit more because it's a slower descent. And still being very explosive. So there's like a happy medium. You don't want to slow down too much because then you have a slow eccentric phase, which is fatiguing. And you don't want to drop it too fast because then you don't load up the muscle like an elastic band, right, to store any kinetic energy. So there's a happy medium. There's a certain like speed that I look for. Last week wasn't too bad. It was on the faster end. And that's how I knew something was off with my chest, right? I think it was just like fatigue or whatever. And that's why I could have done my sub-maximal weights, like 190 for 4, and sustain the RPE way better than trying to get closer to the maximal work and moving it clean. Like that 210 was the most. And if I can do 190 for 4 at 7, probably could have done 5 at 7 on that day, then 210 shouldn't be a struggle RP8. So that's just a sign of fatigue there. So this week it's moving a lot better. Things are moving really fast. Everything's at very sub-maximally. Like this 190 is moving a lot faster than how the 190 moved last week that I did, like this one, even though it's just a single. It's moving a lot faster, so I already know like I should be between that 220 to 230 range right now. But that's all I have to say. I'm gonna keep like doing what I'm doing, lock in, and jump the next 20 kilos to that 210 right now, and hopefully it moves really well that I can say, yeah, let's do 230s because we get to hit 500 pounds. So I'm really excited for that. So yeah, let's do it. I really don't know what to say. That last rep moved like ass. It felt hard off the chest. I could felt my back cramping again, even though I was trying to brace. I know I was feeling good coming up in the warm-up, not too good, but things were moving really well. But that last set, it moved down there close to what I did last week, and just a little bit better than what I did the week before. So 220 would probably be the safe number to go with, or 225, 222.5. But my mindset was to come in here and try 225 by this week. By the end of the block, I should be at 225. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get that 225. Fuck even 225 actually. I'm gonna go for 227.5. So because I'm already in the mindset that I might fail this shit. So we gonna burn the boats and go for everything. So we're gonna jump from 210, 17.5 kilo jump, and try to get this to 27.5, which is just a little bit over 500, and then do my back down work with 190 or so. 190 or a bit more. We'll see how this goes here. If I fail, then probably 190. If I get it, then maybe a little bit more. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if my positioning is off or it's just how I'm feeling. It must be my positioning though, because for the drop off, like what I'm looking at right now is the set before that moved really well. I know I'm jumping like 5 more kilos than I normally, like 20 kilos, but the drop off was just so drastic in terms of what it should move like that. I'm like, maybe I should have did what I did last week. So note to self, don't switch it up, especially when you have your plans already set. Because maybe if I had done 195 and then 210, it wouldn't change that drastic, but it changed so drastic that it's playing in my head psychologically. So these are the things though that I'm on training day, you gotta be good at talking yourself through because it's gonna happen on meet day. And you just gotta be mindful of that and not let it take over with your confidence. So that's why I'm challenging myself right now to go even more than I had planned to, because this could be a thing that could happen on me day. I might be planning like, hey, let's get this safe number and stuff like that, and boom, I missed that second attempt, and then my competition sees that and said, okay, well, let's push a little bit aggressive on bench, and that's going to close the gap even more with them. And yeah, with my confidence being low, it's probably going to be a case of, am I going to repeat the same weight, or am I going to do the plan jump, or am I going to even go more because now I see him doing more than I expected. So it's one of those scenarios that I'm kind of like getting myself prepared for in this moment. What if you messed up, your competition saw that, and they think you're going to repeat it, or they already know what you were going to jump to, or you're going to respond by going even more aggressive. For me, I'm going more aggressive, so that's what we're doing right now. We're going to load up 227.5, and we're going to smoke it out of 8. That's the mindset that we're going to be in. So I'm going to take a minute and then go at it. I don't know why this shit's saying like it's been that long. It hasn't feel like I've been resting that long. Like the time is really flying today. But yeah, let's get it, man. Let's load up this weight and hopefully let's smoke 500, because that's what we came here to do. Fuck. We got 500. We came here and did what we wanted, but was it an 8? Nah. That 500 was a 9. I didn't even look over it. The video wise, I just looked at the Vitruve. Vitruve is at like borderline 8.5 to 9, but I know that's a 9. I felt like my butt came up, so with that big of a misgroove, fuck up in technique, it was definitely a 9 in terms of intensity. So if I calculate that, my 1 RM would be at like close to 240, what I've hit before. So 80% of that is going to bring me back down to the same 190 that I've been doing for these past few weeks. So that's why we're going to drill today again, keep the 190, and just try to have them move sharper. As I said, like if I was going to keep the same weight, I was going to try maybe pausing a little bit longer to get more out of the weight by increasing the time under the load, time under tension. So being that it seems like I'm running into like a pec weakness here. I always thought like it was only my top end that was weak, but I think being that I'm stuck at the same 1 RM that I can express for my chest, it's definitely my chest weakness, even though I'm not feeling it on my chest. So we just got to get better with that. So for my back downs right now with the 190s at 4x4, I'm gonna try to drill these as best as I can. If it moves super well, then I'll go up, but I'm not expecting it to move super well. What I am expecting though is that the speed gradually diminish. That's something that we didn't have last week. It was just so submaximal that it just kept cruising at like 777 RPE throughout the whole set. So I'd like it to be like down near 5, then 6, then 7, and maybe 7 again. But to have it at 777, I'm gonna go up, if that's the case, to like 2.5 or 5 pounds up, maybe 10 pounds up, really and truly, so we can really feel a difference. 5 pounds doesn't really, for me right now, how strong I am on bench, it doesn't really affect me. If I was like less advanced, then yeah, 5 pounds would be more than enough. Like if it was recommending it to most people, I'd say 5 pounds is good enough. But for me, I'm thinking 5 pounds is not going to make that much of a difference. That's why I went up 5 more pounds on the bench because I'm like, the goal was 225, and I put it on 5 more pounds is not gonna make or break my lift at this level, especially if I'm not expecting to go to 100%. This is not 100% for me. So yeah, we're gonna drop it to 190 and start our sharp set of fours there, and hopefully it moves well. And if we got more, we'll take more, right? So yeah, let's strip it down and get started. Ah! 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 Fuck! All right, so cramps. The cramps are back. Felt them in the warm up, but doing that rep work, it was there. It's good. I could cramp and still, like after the first rep, I started cramping. Second, third, fourth, went through. But my first 2 reps moved below 6 RPE. Actually, my first 3 reps moved below a 6 RPE. And then my last one is what moved within the 7, like a easy 7, like damn near 6.5 kind of 7. But still, if it is a 7, I'm a third. If I wasn't cramping, I would go heavier, but because I can't squeeze my muscles like I'd like to. I can't contract them as hard. So I'm contracting, but I'm semi-relaxed doing this shit because I mean this is a sub-max load for me. 190 is a sub-max load for me, right? So I can get away with still doing work with it. If I did want to make it harder, I could slow it down. What the fuck am I saying about slower it? I could slow it down, give more time and attention, but I feel like I'm gonna end up cramping even more and probably can't end up coming up. Like if I like go completely to a 0 and to go back to 100 like hard, I'm gonna feel it. So I'm gonna keep the same tempo as I've been doing this whole block today and keep the same weight. It's very unfortunate because I feel like I am stronger today at doing this, but you know, I think it's time for me to actually start my cut and like lock in on my nutrition. Sleep can be okay and I can be getting my protein and everything, but I think the main thing that's off right now with me, and I've been doing cardio because I've been biking, I think the main thing right now, man, and stress is low, like really low for me right now. I think the main thing right now is my nutrition. I can't keep coming in here and cramping and shit and having like unproductive blocks in my eyes week to week. Like if I'm at the same thing for 3 weeks straight, like I'm not growing, bro. I'm regressing. In my eyes, if you staying the same, you're regressing. You're wasting time, right? I'm only getting older, so I can't be at the same fucking weight every fucking time I come inside here. So I'm not happy with how the 190 moved, and I'm just gonna have to accept that. Moving forward after next week, starting today actually, because I already know what I ate earlier. I only had eggs and smoothies, but starting today, I'm gonna start tracking my calories for the next 2 weeks. And then after that 2 weeks run off, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like 6 months out from competition, from Canadian National. So for the next 6 months straight, I'm gonna be locked in on my nutrition. I am going to definitely get to my weight goal way before that, probably by the end of the year, and then have the next 2 months following it to just maintain going into my competition. But Yeah, right now, it's not looking good. And I think the big thing that's been hurting me right now is my nutrition. So I need to dial that in. I shouldn't be resting this long, being that this is a RP7 weight. It should be like 2 minutes, and it's been 4 right now. But I gotta give my lats a minute to relax, or I'm not gonna be able to get this shit for even more than 2. So I'm giving myself a minute, and then I'm gonna go again. I mean, I'm gonna go right now. It's been 5 minutes, so I'm gonna go again, but not so good. I think already for squats now, being that I'm going lower, I'll be lucky if I can hit 275. If I only hit 255, that's fine, and just stay around there for my back down work, like, because I just can't brace as hard to do anything. Yeah, that's going to be that, because like tomorrow it's going to be deadlifts and stuff, because I'm moving all the workouts forward. I had 3 days off. Yeah, and then squats again. I don't want to not do squats today and try to do it tomorrow, and then I have a next squat day the next summer. I'm gonna stay on program, like, but I already know that I'm not gonna be able to push that much on squats today. So yeah, if I get 275, that'd be good. We're down there at 600 for a single out of 8, cool. But it ain't nothing to ride home about right now, where we're at in the block. So yeah, enough rambling. I'm feeling like kind of like, I was trying to get revved up because I've been like, I'm sick of being at just 500 for so long. Like I've hit 495 since, it's been a year now that I've been at 500. Yeah, I'm in the mid 5s, low 5s even, not even mid 5s yet. So yeah, I'm in the low 5s here, approaching mid 5s territory. And fuck, I honestly want to be in the high 5s to 6s by now. And being that I'm thinking about cutting right now, I don't think it's going to be possible in the next year or so. I think mid 5s will be, but high 5s to 6, I don't think so, unless I'm really underestimating what having a good nutrition plan and predictability can do for me, which I've never had. So there's a lot of things I've never done that I'm going to be doing in this prep, which is going to be very interesting to see how much it helps me. But yeah, maybe I'm underestimating let's say, never say never, because if I need to, then I will push to try to get it. But yeah, I don't think it's a realistic goal for me to be putting on myself. And I already know I put unrealistic goals on myself a lot. Did I say this was 195 in the retrieve? No wonder this shit like put the watts so high. Update that shit to 190. My boy, yeah, 190. All right, let's go again. That was not a clean set at all. Every rep felt janky. One thing I started thinking about on that set, like, just want to say it real quick while I'm here. When you're benching, it has a lot to do with balance, because you're touching two ends of the bars, right? A lot more in this than any other lifts. Same with deadlift too. If you grab the bar one extreme and then grab it here, you're going to shift to one side. It's the same thing. I was trying to think, want to get my hands on the same spot and apply balance forces to get the bar come straight up. Because if you're pushing harder on this side and this side's not pushing, then it kind of shifts more into this side. And usually that happens on bench. You kind of see somebody's arms go quicker than one, and it's just a loss of focus that you're trying to apply balance, pressure, and force into the bar. So that one, I lost it, and then 1 minute I was pushing more on this side. I was like, oh shit, I need to apply more on this side. And then I applied too much on this side, and then the last one we dial it in, and then boom, we're straight. So that was definitely submaximal load in terms of like, this is definitely still RP7, even though it was not a clean set. And usually when reps are not this clean, even if the speed's good, it's not a 7. I usually put it at 7.5 to 8, but this is a 7. I fucked up so many reps and was still able to get it pretty fast. So yeah, we're done with bench. Today coming in, I actually thought I was gonna do squats first, because that's what I've had on program. I'm like, nah, fuck that. We've been doing bench every day as a primary movement instead of squats. I'm gonna just keep it. Next block, I'll follow the plan as is and do it how it's structured, but just kept it the same way. Anyways, not important. Let's move into squats and destroy our legs.